and welcome to the Mockingbird Show. In my last episode, I had spoken about bullying. I have given an overview of bullying, what bullying is like, and how it feels to be bullied. I was a victim of bullying, and I can very well understand and empathize with those who have faced bullying in their lives, maybe in the early childhood days or maybe in their schools and colleges, and maybe later in life as well. And today I will be sharing about the basics of bullying. What is bullying? Just to understand bullying, we need to understand where it comes from, why it happens, and the different types of bullying, the causes of bullying, the effects of bullying. Maybe I'll divide this into two episodes where I will be explaining each of them in detail for our educators and for our parents to understand bullying and to identify bullying if it is happening in their child's life or in the lives of any other children they are coming across, or students, who would basically not tell that they are bullied. At the same time, they have the signs of bullying. Bullying is a vicious cycle in our society, and we need to get rid of this cycle. So, unmute, talk about bullying, report it. If you see it, stop it there and then. So, let us delve deep into what is bullying, its causes, its effects, and before that, I would like to tell you to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Stay connected with us, be a part of the Mockingbird Show, and watch this episode till the end to understand bullying and to stop this vicious cycle of bullying. Well, what is bullying? Bullying is unwanted aggressive behavior among school aged children that involves a real or perceived power balance. The behavior is repeated or has the potential to be repeated over time. Both kids who are bullied and who bully others may have serious lasting problems. In order to consider bullying, the behavior must be aggressive and include an imbalance of power. There is some kind of imbalance between the kids who are bullying because they have either physical advantage or they have more strength, more power, or they have access to embarrassing information about the other child. So that way, there is a power imbalance when we talk about bullying. Repetition, it is always repeated, it is more than once, and it also includes actions such as making threats, spreading rumors, attacking someone physically or verbally, and excluding someone from group on purpose. So, if you look at an example, there are children who always try to dominate the group by hitting, beating, threatening the children in the group. And the children's institutions also, we see many do this kind of work in order to gain some kind of power in their hands, and they are into the power play. So this is basically bullying, if you look at the definition of bullying and what includes bullying. Now looking at where, when, whom, what, why, which of bullying. So if we look at the types and causes of bullying, it is most common behavior in schools and in education institutions. And bullying is also called ragging. During our days, we used to call it ragging, and we used to really be terrified of ragging because the seniors would come and try to intimidate us with a lot of critical questions, and so we always try to avoid run away from places where the seniors were gathered together. So in colleges, ragging is extremely prevalent. Now let us look at the three different types of bullying, which is one is physical bullying, one is verbal bullying, one is emotional bullying. There are certain subtypes of bullying as well, like cyberbullying, disability bullying, school bullying, etc. So when we look at physical bullying, it is mainly, the use of physical force, either hitting, beating, spitting over somebody, and the bully is generally bigger in size than the child who is bullied. So here, the use of physical force actually, makes the bully feel more powerful, and they use that physical force on the victim, and that is where the victim feels that they are powerless. In verbal bullying, there are words that are involved. The aggressor is taunting, teasing, verbally abusing the individual's appearance, lifestyle choices, intellect, skin color, or even ethnicity. So, most verbal bullies have a lower self esteem and tend to bully others so as to increase their social standing and feel better about themselves. In emotional bullying, also, we can see that one partner might make statements or act in a manner as to bring about distress to the other partner. Emotional bullying may also involve the spreading of rumors, excluding an individual from activities, refusing to talk to someone, and even making a statement with an intention of hurting the person's feeling. Cyberbullying is one of the most prevalent form of bullying in today's world because of the amount of people who are present in this space and using this space on a regular basis. So there's a lot of bullying incidences happening, there are a lot of suicides happening because of cyberbullying, because of threats by friends that we will put up this post or that photograph of yours. I've just read some time back a 16-year-old found dead in his room because his friend posted some offensive pictures about him, and just imagine the trauma the child must have undergone. Another form of bullying is disability bullying, where a child is bullying because they are not the same as the peers. They have certain disability, maybe some physical disability, which makes them stand out from the others, and they are bullied because of that. Also, there is school bullying, and when we talk about school bullying, there are a lot of bullying incidences that are happening in school, and that happens in different ways. It can be pack bullying, it can be individual bullying. So there are different ways in which these kind of bullying happen. It can also happen in the corridors, which are the gray areas where cameras don't cover the children. So when we talk about pack bullying, it's like a whole pack of children bullying one victim, either physically or in cyberspace or verbally or emotionally. And then there is individual bullying, which is again very, very prevalent, because here the individual is bullying the other person through the use of strength and through the use of social media and others. And this kind of bullying is happening in the schools, and we try to ignore, we try to just think that these are small incidences and these are going to be over in a certain times frame. But the kind of impact it leaves on the victim is immense, and that can last a whole lifetime. And if it gets worse, then it is going to also lead that person to take an extreme step. Now, moving on to bullying in children's institutions and homes. Children in care are among the group who are most vulnerable to bullying. They report twice the level of bullying than other children in primary years and 4 times the level in secondary years. Children who are looked after and living away from home are particularly vulnerable and may face discrimination from other children at school and in the community simply because they are looked after. When children live together, new hierarchies can form, with the strongest bullying the weaker or the younger children. When supervision is limited or staff change frequently, an underlying culture can develop in which children do not report bullying. Looked after bullied children may have several placements and have to adapt to new situations and people repeatedly. They can lose contact with friends and often with extended family members. There may be higher levels of psychiatric disorder with conduct and anxiety disorders being the most common. The life experience, lost friendships, and family difficulties of some children in care emphasize how important it is that they are protected from bullying and supported to avoid bullying others. Staff may find it difficult to know who are the victims and the perpetrators. Some young people constantly change their status between victim and bully. So it is very difficult to identify. We need to have a strong system in place against bullying. So I come to the end of this episode on bullying, where we discuss the definition of bullying, the different types of bullying, how it happens. In my next episode, I'll be discussing the causes of bullying, the effects of bullying, and the legal framework, that is there. How the anti-bullying laws can be put to good use in our society, and also discuss about identification of bullying, because many times we cannot identify bullying. We just think that it is a tantrum or something, or a small thing happening to my child or somebody's children. But identification of bullying is also very important. So I'll be covering all of that in my next episode. Stay tuned to the Mockingbird Show, and let's meet again next week with more detailed discussion on bullying. We have to nip it at the bud. We have to take a call. We have to unmute and talk about bullying. Only then we can rid the society of this vicious cycle of bullying.